let's just sew whatever. Hey everybody, I am so excited to finally share the updated basement studio tour. I have been working for like 3 or 4 weeks to get this done, but anyway, so I'm standing at the stairs in the basement and I wanted to show kind of everything I've got down here. So I've got some Alex drawers that I keep my templates in. I've got this tall one here, and then I've got this shorter one over here. And then I have 2 large Kallaxes from IKEA that I keep vinyl in, and I keep my interfacing on top of, and all of that. I've got them kind of organized by color, and then I've got my like clear jelly and some prints down below. Over here I've got my pegboards with all of my rulers on top of. I also created a little to-do list on the wall here just from a frame and some fabric. I've got my heat press on top of a little tiny desk that I had in the back room, and then I purchased this tabletop from the as-is section just to add some extra counter space. And then I don't believe they sell these drawers anymore, but they stack nicely, so I keep all of my patterns in there. And then I've got another Kallax with just different lining fabrics and some fun stuff. And then my cutting table I handmade. This would be the front of the table. That can be seen from my machine, you know. And then the side, and then this would be my area, but the tabletop would cover the whole entire thing. Drawers here, and I could put a pegboard there. I mean, technically I could put a pegboard there too. Here I am showing you the frame that goes underneath, but my measurements were wrong, so if you were to make this exact thing, it's gonna look a little bit different. You can see here in the picture the change that I made. So there's a spare board off to the side, but it works. It was kind of hard to get everything to fit together because these squares aren't perfect, but I made it work, and at the end of the day, you don't really know. You can't tell. So there's the full view of it, and I am absolutely obsessed with it. Sorry, Ben won't stop meowing. So it is comprised of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different Kallaxes in different sizes. So I've got 2x1s on the front, and then I've got 2x2s on the sides over here, and then one on the back. I loaded it with drawers, as you can see there, and then I also screwed on some pegboards. I had to create a base out of 2x4s underneath, and then I also added felt pads on top of it so that I could slide it. I don't want to say I could slide it easily, but I could slide it. And it's my favorite thing down here. The old cutting table worked for a really long time, and I did love it. My dad and I built it together. But you know, needs change, and it's been 8 years with the same cutting table, so it was time for an upgrade. Here's how it was holding up after 8 years. We built this 8 years ago. Things are just a little loose. So building this took quite some time. Here I am building the drawers from IKEA. I wasn't initially going to add drawers, I don't think, but then I saw that there were pink ones and I was like, don't mind if I do. Thank you very much. So definitely had to add those. It was super fun. I love building IKEA furniture, so this was a blast for me. And then it was nice because Dorothy would come and help every so often. Help, in quotes. One drawer done. Many, many more to go. IKEA furniture isn't necessarily hard to build. You just want to make sure that you're watching which direction things go in which way. I will say I don't love the quality of the drawers. I liked the doors a lot more, but the drawers work and they're pink and they're cute, so it'll do. We'll make it work. So once I had all the drawers done, then it was time to kind of take apart the old one, clear out some space a little bit more. So glad to have Evermore's help throughout all of this. Truly, just, she wasn't in the way ever. Never. Not even once. So the top was screwed on with a lot of screws, of course. And this cutting table was so vital to my business. We would move it to pack orders, we would move it to cut bags, so it's been through a lot, and it was pretty well made. The wheels that we used on it were from IKEA. I don't know if they still sell them or not, but they held up pretty well. But there was so much weight on this table for 8 years, so the disarray that it is in is understandable. And I did keep the cubes. I actually have them behind my other Kallaxes in my office area, in my computer area, so they catch like the overflow from the other shelves, so they are not wasted. And here you can see that I am cleaning up what was in the cutting table previously, finding it new homes, going through random stuff that was in the other cutting table, and just trying to find it a home. I was also cutting stuff to hang on the walls. I don't know why I needed to do that, but we call it ping-ponging, where you're just like, ooh, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do this. And that's kind of what this process was for the duration of it. And you can see before we added the lights, those big light panels, those are from Menards. I only had the top lights, and they work, but they just aren't soft lighting everywhere, so it was kind of nice to add. I really loved being able to add like fabric to my walls as well. It is my artwork at the end of the day, so it was nice to be able to put that up. I feel like I'm playing The Sims right now, watching me move. And then I also hung up a bunch of pegboard that you can't really see. And yeah, it was just a lot of different organizing. I'm adding my drawers in and putting the pens and pencils where they need to go and all of that. So fun times, truly. Organizing my cork, and I was also screwing the base to the Kallaxes, making sure I did my best to catch everything. So here we are installing the drawers, getting some help from Dorothy, making sure they work properly. The tabletop is from Menards. I had it custom made, and I did not measure it correctly, but it is what it is. So these rounded corners were supposed to hang off the edge quite a bit. I'm thankful to have rounded corners, and I'm thankful to have a finished top instead of just a random piece of wood. But it fits well enough, and it is what it is. But inside my drawers here, I've got various cutting tools, extra rotary blades, and I've got my marking pens. Underneath, I have a trash can and this storage cart. The storage cart is from Amazon, and I'll have as many links down below as possible. And then underneath, inside of there, I have a storage cart that fits perfectly the width that I can put all of my leather on. So if I want, I can just kind of slide things out instead of things being stacked on top. This is a computer stand that I spray painted from IKEA, and I wanted something that I could put my things on but still have all of my table space, since I made my table a little bit smaller. And I have to be honest, I really love it. It's metal, so this clip bowl actually, sticks to it. The spray paint will chip off eventually, but it is what it is. Over here I have not gone through like any of this stuff, but Dorothy has a little craft table down here. I've got my webbing storage, different knit fabric storage, more fabric storage. I got this rolling cart from Joann's, and I decided it would be perfect for vinyls and waterproof canvas that I have on rolls, and I'm very happy with it. I could roll it out if I need to. It takes up a little bit more space than I would prefer, but I like that it's on wheels and it's from Joann's. So down in the cubbies here, I have all of my cork. I've got some waxed canvas, and it's organized by solid and print. And so you can see here, that's a 2x2, another 2x2 here, and then another 2x2 here. I added some doors just to kind of hide whatever I might put in here. I honestly don't even know what's in here. Okay. Extra binder and some labels, different fabric treatment things, and a random basket full of nothing. Perfect. So then I have some extra leather storage down below. Over here you can see that Kallax with different lining fabrics and some random items to store. And then over here I have, this is Theratex bonded polyester fabric, just a nice lining, and then like maybe a project. So there's room to grow, which is nice. And then over here I can just keep some rulers, extra little things. This is my hardware storage. It's not great. I should probably come up with something better, but it is Ziploc bags in each bin, and each bin is labeled. So up above I've got 1.5 inch hardware across, 1 inch hardware, 3/4 inch, and so on and so forth. Over here I have a TV on a rolling cart so I can move it wherever I need to. I also got this other bin that I put all these like stuffed animals in from Joann's. It was like $5 when they were closing, and I was like, thank you. Yeah, sounds good. And then over here is just what we call the soft place. So it's just a nice couch area for Dorothy to hang out in, and a little play area. I have my Singer chain stitch machine where I can pull up a chair whenever I would like. And I also have some filming lights that I just store over here. I got this Alex drawer unit from IKEA to store various tools in, manuals, things like that. And I've got my thread for the chain stitch there. I have moved my sewing machine up quite a bit, and I've also added some larger lights above. My husband and I did that by adding a power cord to a light. I didn't realize that was something you could do, but you don't have to wire it in. You could make it a plug-in light as long as you know what you're doing. More fabric storage over here, and I got a smaller rolling cart, which I'm really excited about because I can store parts of the project I'm working on in it, and I can put my project on top of it and keep it close by, and I love that it's on wheels. I added some extra pegboards to this area. This one here is just kind of stuff that I love, I'm proud of, things I've designed or created, that kind of thing. I have my tool cart over here, which really hasn't changed. Part of me wants a new one, but I'm like, well, the one you have is fine. I also really want to get a new chair. I really like the mesh chairs from Technisport, but this one will do. On my shelves here, again, I've just got some cute things that make me happy. Here is a little calico critter with a sewing machine. Dorothy at Disney. And then this was a piece of the cutting table, and Dorothy drew on it, and I decided to put it on a shelf. I just thought, oh, that's fun. She wanted to help. This is my Thor 1341. Oh, I should say, this is my Juki 1181 that I've had for like 8-9 years. This is the Thor 1341 that was generously made pink for me. And I've got some little tables for it. I definitely plan to use this more. This is just a little bin that I command stripped on to put my clips in, or, you know, thread, things like that. Over here is my pink 1181 that, again, was generously painted pink for me. Absolutely love it. And then all of my variegated thread storage. And then continuing on with all the domestics. I haven't really cleaned this area up. It's a little bit much, but it's okay. I have a pink featherweight that I'm in love with, and I've got some domestic Jukis, serger, cover stitch, that kind of thing, embroidery machine. This is another shelf back here I really need to clean up, but I have zipper pulls. I've got irons that have dyed, different solid cottons that I use for appliquing back in the day, hoop storage on the wall. My zippers are in these plastic shoe holders that just hang on the wall that are great. And then I've got my thread storage. I've got a photo ledge from IKEA that I keep my thread on. The Tex 90 spools are just a little bit too big for pegboard, so I prefer them on a shelf. And then I've got my pegboards here. I have my rivet storage in them, and then I've got my ironing board over here. Hi, Evermore. You just wanted to be here. So just little different tools hanging here. And then, like I said, the rivet storage. When I created this, I didn't carry light gold, so I don't really have a label for that, but that's okay. I have a little pegboard over here with all of the zipper pocket rulers I've created. And then I love this little cabinet that I built from IKEA as well. It's a Kallax with a riser underneath so that it's a little bit taller. And then I added some drawers to the bottom. And I had bought this little organizer from, I don't know, maybe Home Goods or something. And I knew I wanted to put my zipper pulls in it and have it easily accessible. But as you can see, it doesn't quite fit in the size of the cabinet. So when I built it, I put this in, I put that other shelf piece right there, and then I put the top on. So it's not actually screwed into place or anything. I could have secured it from the bottom, but decided like it's not that serious. So I've got all my leather paints here, my edge coat. I got this little silicone mat off of Amazon, and this little brush holder I thought would be nice to be able to keep everything nearby, and like having the tools and having the organization means I'm more likely to actually use it. And so then in the drawers, I've got some organizers, I've got some extra rivet things, rivet press dies, extra duct tape and elastic. I've got all of my binding here in one drawer, and then I've got all of my double-sided tape and needles. And then on top, I've got my rivet presses. I have 2 rivet presses. I like one for setting my dies, and I like one for punching the holes. That is something that I purchased much later in my bag making journey when I could afford it, essentially, because it saved so much time. So that's not a necessary thing, it's just something I like. And then for my filming equipment, in case you're curious, I just have a bunch of tripods, and I use my phones. But I'm trying to work on more permanent phone mount solutions so that like the view is the same every time. So I got these Elgato phone mounts, or I should say camera mounts, and I added a phone holder to them. I've got this blue tape here so I don't hit my head. So that would give me a better view of the cutting table. And then I got a little clamp mount for the light to put my phone on for a main camera. So yeah, that is my basement studio. Back behind the Kallaxes is my computer area, which hasn't changed much. I also do my nails in the basement, so that is this back corner. Don't look at the stairs. There's still a lot of cleaning to do, but I also have my Skyver over here, which I'm going to try to use more. I know I always say that, but I mean it. But yeah. So if you have any questions about any of the items that I showed, definitely let me know. You can comment, but I should have links for everything that I can think of. But a lot of this stuff is from IKEA, and I'll include a bunch of different photos either at the end or intermixed, who knows, of the process of doing this, because I feel like it hasn't changed that much, but it really did change that much. And I feel like I can breathe down here a little bit more. I'm not surrounded by things I can't and won't use, and it's just a very functional space that I'm happy with. So thanks for watching. I hope it helps you get a little more organized with your space, and I will see y'all later. Bye. It's the Lauren special. Make it work, even when you're broken.